as Alexander Isak may well be taking legal action against Newcastle Football Club. And at the end of the day, who would blame him? You know what? It's a dangerous precedence in a way, because we get lots and lots and lots of journalists talking about insiders. I do this on the United Stand, of course. And we talk about it all the time, how, you know, these so-called sources put out information and you're sort of like, no, it's not true a lot of the time. You know, we had it with Man United last week. Senior players are not happy with the system that Ruben Amorim's playing, but you go through the senior players and you know it's not them. So, you know, very, very interesting. Now, whether I think it'll go that far with Isak, I don't know. But there are some pretty horrific things being said about him by the media, by Newcastle fans, wishing injury on him. I've always said that this Newcastle-Liverpool Isak story really bubbled up beyond anything it needed to through nobody's fault. Ultimately, Newcastle were always going to sell him. They just couldn't get the strikers in till the end. Liverpool were always going to pay a British transfer record, and Isak wanted to go there. And when you break that down, you can sort of understand each side. There is no big drama. I mean, obviously I've heard Shearer talk about it. I think he was on about it the other day, saying, you know, this is going to be a lesson to football clubs that you've got Gehi, who literally captains his team, scored a goal and doesn't get his dream move, but Isak doesn't train, refuses to train and gets his dream move. This is what it's going to be like from now on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not what it's going to be like from now on, because it's been like it all the time. I don't see many people talking about Manchester United this summer. Garnacho sitting on his arse all of pre-season, first 3 weeks of the Premier League season, to get his move to Chelsea on the cheap at the end of the window. Literally the same thing. Anthony did the same to get his move to Betis, refusing anything else. So Isak is not a criminal in the footballing world. People have been doing it for decades. I remember Pierre Van Hooijdonk doing it years ago. Collymore did it. Like, loads of people have done it. It's not new. But I think our thirst for a story is becoming dangerous. And I don't think for 1 minute Isak's going to take legal action, because I think people around him are going to say, you've got your dream move at Liverpool. The best thing you can do is score goals for Liverpool, win things with Liverpool, and shut your silencers, your haters down that way. But in another way, I think it's very dangerous when people are putting out lies about you to the masses. The world is a very dangerous place. It always has been. And, you know, Alexander Isak probably couldn't walk down a street in Newcastle anymore, because somebody would think, you were downing tools on purpose last year. And that's where I sort of, you know, agree that these sources about insider information, you'll be very, very careful of that. And ultimately, I'm sure Isak sat there with the money and the ability to sue that newspaper, or at least say who these sources are so I can sue them instead. Because in fairness to the Telegraph, if they, as a journalist, get given information from somebody and it's a verified source and they print it, the source is the person who's lying. So I just have always felt that Isak leaving Liverpool and leaving Newcastle was always going to be harsh on Newcastle fans. I remember when Cristiano left Manchester United to Real Madrid, it's difficult, because you believe your club is the place to be, but they want to go somewhere else. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. But the way it's been dealt with, I think, is somewhat unfair on Isak.